So here we are, motoring southern end of Moreton Bay. We've just departed Coochiemudlo Island after a lovely stay there. Busy island, lots of people, but very quirky, interesting little houses and beautiful natural setting as well, with sandy beaches all round. And but yeah, busy island, so it's nice to get back to sea and to get out onto Moreton Bay, following the channels. Though it looks like there's lots of water, but there's actually, you've got to be careful following the channel. Heading north with Coochie on our port side and North Stradbroke on starboard. Coming into Peel Island, anchored in Peel Island. We're about half a mile off. Very shallow Peel Island, and this is Horseshoe Bay, the southern facing bay. It's an infamous bay because of the large fetch of water from the south. If you get a southerly blow, you suddenly get a big fetch here, you know, a big wave amplitude, and it can get very hairy. So the locals on Macleay warned me about being here, but we motored in. Probably about 15 other boats anchored, beautiful sandy beach, and then we walked along the Telegraph Track, leaving the dinghy, and walked along the Telegraph Track to try to get to the hospital. You can see here, this is images I got, but it was private. It's private, the hospital, and so we couldn't visit it. It was a leprosery hospital, and the approach was via this old pier, the North Gutter, and the actual north end is an anchorage still, the gutter as they call it, the Lazarette Gutter. So we walked east along the track to the southeast corner of the island and had a look at this little natural haven. Again, exposed to the south, so not the place you want to loiter, as you can see here by the wreck of the Platypus. An old steam barge that was wrecked here when a southerly came. There were some other yachts we saw back in Coochie actually that had been wrecked on the beach, like this one. You know, just a reminder. So walking up the track to the isolation ward, brick covered with tin roof. You can imagine the hellhole this was in the heat for patients that were acutely ill, and you know, there was no getting out of here, as you can see with the bars on the window, and you notice how high it is as well. So you know, these people were incarcerated, there's no doubt about that. But walking back, it was lovely to get back to the beach again. Pretty warm this time in the spring here. Springtime, Australia is pretty warm on the east coast. So what do you do at springtime Australia? Most of the year, in fact, you go for a swim. Very shallow here. You have to walk out a long way to get some swimming space, but very, very beautiful. Looking south here with Coochiemudlo off to the left, Macleay in the sort of centre there, and then off to the left, sorry, is North Stradbroke. But yeah, a southerly was coming, so it was time to get out of, after a couple of days of Peel Island, it was time to head to the nearby North Stradbroke. And very little wind in this passage, but just enough for us to move the Contessa 25 along. She's a very nimble little boat, our boat, and doesn't take a lot of wind to move her along. But we weren't going far, so there was no reason to really put up the full sail. And we decided to go to Dunwich, which is the anchorage is known as the 1 mile, and it's a narrow little approach, and it's basically all full of anchored yachts and commercial trawlers and such like. But it's a good sheltered spot, and we actually got permission to borrow a mooring, because again, that southerly was coming and there was shelter here. We could have gone round further north to Mayora anchorage, but we had permission to stay here a couple of days on a trawler anchor on a trawler mooring and just get ready to explore North Stradbroke, which is an Aboriginal run community.